afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. With me, a host, ImperialDane, master propaganda hero, defender of the fatherland, off here to an exciting 2 versus 2 on Moscow Winter. And strap yourself in, this is going to be a long one, so I hope you got your favourite beverage ready. The setting is 1944, somewhere in the Ardennes. The German assault continues, rolling ahead here at full speed with the Panzer Division in the north. We got ImperialDane himself and X the Eliminator forming up the Panzer Division here with Encirclement, Jaeger infantry. Mobile defense, fortified armour, elite troops, and festering armourers. In the south, we got Landslide and Stobez, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Stobez here, I think, roughly around top 50 with the Americans. Forming up here, the 3rd Armoured Aviation, having rested for the night after having made a few successful assaults, are now on the receiving end of a German assault. And we got a heavy cavalry for Stobez with airborne, armour, and infantry available for lift to see my landslide, mostly infantry, single pair or pathfinder. There was some machine gun infantry and whatnot as well. We got rifle out here for both American players right away. For the Germans, it's the standard Grenadier MG42 builds as well, rather not much to see there. Aggressively sort of moving towards the fuel point on the west, where I was going to take a bit more measured approach. Since if I just rush ahead and get caught in a bad spot, they can really throw things off. So a slightly more measured approach that sees me, and I'm not getting too extended too far. But Escalating here, of course, trying to secure ahead here at a time. We got Grenadiers and CMD4 sitting in the house as well. That's going to be a bit difficult here for Stobez to clear out in the early game. Here we got Grenadiers, MD42 versus Rearsen's Riflemen. While another unit moves up here in the east. The Pioneer advances for the fatherland of Germany, Deutschland. With more Grenadiers on the way here. Little Basil moves up. Hopefully up to nothing naughty, and there we go, crawling out my leg. Pioneers 74 moving down and having shifted away from it, realising this is just going to basically be a stopgap. I keep pouring in, I'm just going to waste time, and I don't really want to waste time and manpower. So obviously, rather than do that, I'm just going to switch my attack approach here and go for the fuel pump, which it turns out my attacks have actually tied him down here and prevent him from moving up there easily. So instead, I'm actually making good progress there from just switching up. Grenadiers versus Rifleman here. We got a mortar out here for lift to see my landslide very early on, but similarly, Stobez is also going for one. So both going double rifle and mortars. Very interesting build, of course, as the Wehrmacht. It can pay off depending on how the Wehrmacht players use the machine guns. In the centre here, bit continue to hold up there. Grenadiers moving about, of course, a bit where they might try and push up through there. Another machine gun away from me to help deal with all these riflemen. As for X the Eliminator, he's going for a mortar of his own. Team grab territory here. Basil jumping about a bit. More sitting up, they're going to fire away here. Rifle sneak up on the flank. Fire in the Pioneers, sandbags up to help defend the fuel pump. There you go. Rifle going to find himself under fire from the MD4 to the Grenadiers and the Pioneers. Though with the mortar firing about, they're going to pop up the machine gun to avoid further fire there, since he's going to obviously begin shooting at that one sometime very soon. Around here we got more pressure up for Stobez against X the Eliminator. Mortar firing, of course, precious fire support here for his men as they launch themselves to the Germans. But while here, Tempo helping help by the Grenadiers. Rifle flanking up on that. And down here, though, I'm going to flank up behind the mortar, threatening his calf and threatening his forces around here. Second infantry can move up through here to try and put pressure there. And the calf point here has been denied for now here to X the Eliminator. The mortar so far is not doing too much there. I'm already taking up to try and push up some light vehicle support my own troops. It's a fight against the Americans. Pioneers closing out with support for the Grenadiers and up as well. Might as well just keep trying, to maintain pressure, maintain momentum here while I got it. Thanks to, awfully clever manoeuvring, if I may say so myself. Obviously, I'm going to call it that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be the master of propaganda now, would I? Rather than the fire from the MD42, Grenadiers, they're taking a bit of fire, but not have to fall back unless the rifle gets suppressed, which they do. Up north, the rifle flanking further up behind this. McGregor's moon here from lift to see my landslide to basically try and catch me off guard. Very good play there. Grenadiers pursuing the mortar in the west here. X eliminated and Stobez continue to slag it out like two punch drunk boxers in an underground fighting ring. 74 to the wing up maneuver, but the rifle Grenadiers can't provide much support either. Will have to retreat from here rather than waste manpower needlessly. Second Grenadier MD42 team moving up and need to build up the light mechanized company for X Eliminator to take us also down, but he's first building a medic bunker. So there's an aggressive skirmishing here within the first 5 minutes of the match. Heavy attempts at outmaneuvering, mostly by me, since that's what I prefer. Usually tends to be a lot more effective with the Wehrmacht, since you tend not to have the biggest squad. You have to rely a lot more on flanking and outmaneuvering and positioning your units in that way. So you're going to bring the most amount of firepower to bear on the enemy, really without taking too much in return. Also that way, getting the most out of the MG42 as well. Basil seemingly viciously attacking his own tail, having determined it is actually working with his Russians. Damn tail. Securing the eastern fuel point here, 250 half on the way to further mechanized minor Truppen in service of Deutschland. 5th Cavalry up here for Lift to my Landslide. Stobez with the captain. Roughly attempted didn't quite work out, rather than first with AIM-42. Back here, troops reinforcing, and over here I'm using my teammates' medic banker for now to heal up with. As I wait for the half-track to arrive. Die mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen, Flammenthrower also on the way here. Gonna for a Sturmgruppe here with my half-track or mittlerer Schützenpanzerwagen. Riflery is moving about here, a bit of a standoff between Exterminator and Stobez in the west. There we go, half-track setting out, full speed ahead for Deutschland. Destinations the American rear lines. And we go, gonna go here for the rifle squad, gonna pop up close since it doesn't matter tank rifle, and then pop up everyone in one go, and then go just on the rifle and heavy damping done, and heavy cover as well. And up close they don't get as much cover burns, so there you go, rifle taking heavy damage here, almost being wiped out in one go, also gone for encirclement here. Rather than close being wiped out, only one man survives. Gonna pop into the half track, get it moving again, and then I'm gonna pop in here to try and get a wipe on the rifle using my stormtroopers. Haha! Didn't see that one coming, did you? So there we go. Almost got the wipe, can see full retreat here. Half track gonna rush up behind the mortar and 50 caliber team as they move westwards in the center. Exterminator pushing up there. We go, support weapon number 1 rushed off. 50 caliber there, repositioning further. And, well, half track getting troops and things happened a bit too fast our way though. Infantry following up, a nice little mechanized infantry support assault here, completely unraveling Lift to see my Landslide. And this is, how you try not to make the best out of half track, since you can give, the ability to just strike really hard that way, landing just even temporarily fire superiority at a spot where you sort of really determine it, and that can actually give the advantage you need at times. So really being able to use your half track very well as the Wehrmacht is, I would say, pretty good skill to have. I mean, any faction that can really benefit from using the half track well, but particularly for the Wehrmacht, I feel it's more than necessary, and Basil just keeps biting me. Seems to be in a bitey mood. Talmines down here. Back here, healing reinforcement. Machine gun moving out. Ambush camouflage would be some pretty good upgrades for me. And we can see 50 Cavalry Lieutenant moving up here in the west. Half track now filled with Stormtroopers. Stormtroopen. I don't think... we got a smoke down. He's prepared for an assault. I'm just falling back, repositioning, setting up for the next big push. Anti-aircraft taking away there for Lift to see my Landslide. Moving over to support his teammate here as he realises he's lost the east. Very good decision there. And I'm just trying to figure out how to launch my assault without necessarily, just overexposing myself, since just rushing the half to get into the middle of things is usually rather more risky. On the hand, I figure sort of strike here, maybe catch some units off guard, maybe some support weapons, that should work out well. Sadly, I don't think I have the means to upgrade my stormtroopers. But there you go, units being pushed back. Anti-aircraft moving up here for Lift to see my Landslide to push away those dastardly crowds. Those damn dirty Jerrys. Pack 40 filling up to deal with anti-aircraft out in the west there. Exterminating to fight up, fixing up his own 2-2. Grenadiers pushing back the rifle with lots of light machine gun and heavy machine gun fire. Sehr good. Lots of back and forth and a fresh push up the eastern side as well here from Live to see my Landslide. No Doctor just yet from him or X the Eliminator. There you go. Mechanized counterattack once more going on the east for Germany. With the punch out cannon almost done. More light machine guns up here for X the Eliminator. Got no take up here yet for either of us two. There's a pommel crop soon, that would be pretty good. Fifth cover there going for the calf point. Trying to sort of figure out where to strike on a half track. I mean, again, a well-positioned half track can do a lot of damage with infantry in it, but of course at the same time you just toss it in willy-nilly, you're just going to throw it away. So it's about, trying to find the right spot. And then going for the 5th caliber here, with the half track troops inside, popping out. In this case, it's going to go away, but even then, they should be able to do some nasty damage to it. Anti-aircraft moving up, Pack 40 not quite near ready. Going there for the next tier. teammates yet to go for that. In fact, he's going for Panzergrenadier. Also a pretty good choice, though. Also a pretty good choice. Big up bazookas up there for Lift to see my Landslide. He's obviously worried about my mechanized infantry tactics. Certainly in the hands of an experienced player, it can be quite a nasty thing, so having some counters up for that is usually a pretty good idea. Going to use with him to put ground the centre victory point here. Ambush camouflage going up for the machine and gewehr. Another reason I like Encirclement, you get stormtroopers, you get ambush training, you get close to the pocket, you get breakthrough, you get break supply lines. All of really nice packs. They go flying up with the half and the infantry machine gun supporting it as well. Rather than being flanked, Pioneer Stormtroopers opening up with everything they got, rather than taking heavy damage, almost being wiped out in a matter of seconds, but now the half-tack stuck in a pretty bad spot, and the anti-aircraft rushing in. My machine gun here does not have incendiary armor-piercing rounds. Bit of mistake here, me and the Pack 40 can't support either. They got a smoke up here, left to see my Landslide now setting up with a very robust counter-attack that actually throws me off a bit here. I did not calculate for that, partly because I was actually kind of tired of playing this match, and that will certainly result in a few particular miscalculations, as my ability to calculate risk goes down a bit. Going to these Pioneer Storms are retreating. MG-42 are getting up. Half-Track, sadly, will not be able to escape despite my most fervent wishes. It has served Germany, though, faithfully. Going to these are flanking up, trying to slow down the Americans to push up through here in the west. Pack 40 falling back as well. MG-42 remains here, though doesn't quite get the ambush bonus because most of the crew are sticking out of the cover, the idiots. So half-track went down, tragically. Going up with some Panzergrenadier. I'll also transfer that for some assault rifles and stormtroopers. And the west cap moving up here, we can see Stobez remaining a bit more on the defensive. X and Lift to see my Landslide, they have yet to go for Oh dear, Basil just has the most silly yet content look in his face right now. Almost as though he's stoned out of his gourd. Oh, how adorable. I wish you could see that face he's making right now. It looks absolutely dumb. Anyway, so Pommercore going up there for the German army. Die Deutsche Armee. Die Panzerlehr Panzerdivision smoking up here. I mean, this is also something, really to commend Liv to see my Landslide on. I mean, it's actually making good use of the smoke screen to cover up his assaults. Like, even doesn't have clear the enemy, just being able to cover up with the smoke, there's actually some pretty good tactical thinking here from Liv to see my Landslide, and I do feel he deserves some recognition. And it's definitely, I think, a valuable skill to have in general. In fact, I'm not going for a mortar, probably should consider that at some point, but I haven't. Instead, I'm likely going to go here for a flak panzer due to Stug in this case. Part of me thinks I might be able to get ahead there. Actually, I'll go for the flank panzer due to the situation. Resource-wise, been able to deny them some amount of fuel. I got Pack 40 can also put up with a quick Sturmgeschütz. So I'm going to push ahead with a flak panzer that try and put some pressure on the Allied infantry. Smoke screen on for Stobez. There's lots of smoke here from the Allies. Machine gun there suppressed using the smoke screen. Very good work there by Stobez. Panzerlehr, though, finds on the defensive here as the 3rd Armoured successfully pierces the lines for now. Panzerman Stormtroopers setting about. Team machine wakes way back. Should probably go for medic bunker soonish. 5th cover getting heavy fire, getting heavy fire from the Pack 40 rifle flanking as well. Panzerman Stormtroopers moving up. Flak panzer almost done. There goes smoke screen as well, just in case of machine gun. Really just absolutely great use of smoke there by Liv to see my Landslide. Also allows in this case to escape pretty easily in case something goes wrong. So I mean, really just great utility of the smoke by Liv to see my Landslide. Great stuff. Got the flak panzer they're setting out here for the German army to blast towards the Allies with 30mm of flak. Now we go engaging here the American troops out in the open there, blasting away at them, causing heavy damage. Bazooka fire raining off, but not enough damage here to sort of really threaten the Ostwind. Seems they're going to have to retreat pretty soon. They're all on health, and there we go. Almost wiping the entire unit. There you go, obliterated. Stormtroopers, Panzer and carrying fire there. Gosper now rushing through the centre, and with this, he actually has no anti-tank weapon, so the flak panzer can actually just roll straight through Live to see my Landslide's forces like a hot knife through butter. After they're trying to fall back over towards Stobez lines with those 50 anti-tank guns and whatnot. 3 kills so far on the flak panzer. Which of course opens up his flank as the anti-tank has to deal with that. And he finally puts the anti-aircraft after out of its misery. Good work there by X the Eliminator. Still no doctor for him. Or Live to see my Landslide. But now, of course, I've got to push up the eastern side. There, got to pull back, and there we go. Finally get around to, you know, building a medic bunker going points in. I realise I'm actually going to have to retreat those because they're so low on health. In the next engagement, I'm just going to waste manpower. So, in this case, grab the point, retreat them, get them healed up. No point in wasting manpower, particularly expensive troops like stormtroopers and panzer grenadiers like that. We got Airborne here for lifting Landslide, calling in an tanking of his own. Big push here from both Stobez and lifting Landslide here against Exterminator. As I'm rebuilding my forces, they take the advantage here, try and make a good push there. Good planning there. And smoke screens again. Really just good, great use of the allies there for smoke. So few other players feel like make any sort of consistent use of it. So I mean, when they both can make so great use of it, that is certainly impressive and worth commenting on, to be honest. The missile's almost taken out. Machine there suppressing the riflemen. Flak panzer being fixed up. Gonna deal and wing for the eastern fuel point, and back here, stormtroopers and panzer grenadiers finally receive medical attention. Hanging back here with a defensive stronghold as he brings up more support weapons. Lift to see my Landslide. A bit short on infantry, maybe, just maybe a bit short. Grenadiers wiped. Bit of a loss there for X the Eliminator, to be honest. Need to be careful there. He's actually done just 2 infantry squads. Definitely something to be a bit cautious of. Flak Panther's heading out. Anti-tank and shoots and snipes. Poor Jurgen. 50 mid armor piercing run straight into the gut. I do not think we're going to survive that. So there you go. Troops good to go. Bit more to go from calling the Sturmgeschütz. Might actually consider building a fuel cache to support both me and my teammate. Want for more fuel for the Panzers, or the Sturmgeschütz in this case. And he's setting up here for some movement on the right flank. Got the Major moving ahead. Machine gun joining up there, and the Major caught in the artillery but gets wiped out. Time lost there for Lift to see my Landslide. Rifleman 50 covered up there. Machine guns pack covering up here with the Flak Panzer and reserve if needed. And going for tier 4 here, bit of a bold maneuver, to be honest. Bit of a bold maneuver. I'm kind of thinking we're so far ahead here, I could probably get away with it. Bit, shall we say, bold thinking from me. Might in fact get punished for it, we'll see, but kind of thinking get out of Panther faster. Might just be able to put some nasty pressure on them. Got the Flak Panzer moving up. Flanking up here behind the rifleman, getting off as well there. Hammering into the allies. To the river Styx. Almost got out then the rifleman with the Flak Panzer sadly doesn't quite finish it off. At the same time, Stormtroopers Panzers flanking up here behind the 5th caliber, striking hard with their assault rifles. Getting some good damage in there. Flak Panzer rolling through here. Sherman almost done here for Lift to see my Landslide. 5th caliber wiped out. Could theoretically try and nab it there, but I'm actually focused on the anti-tank gun. And there you go, wiped it out. And there goes Sherman out. Right, at a good timing here for him, although he still lost a few units. Flak Panthers are not going to escape. I'm going to try instead and try and bait it into the telemine. Well knowing Sherman could theoretically set it off, but in this case, doesn't. So there you go, Sherman almost destroyed here. Pack 4 needs to get moving up. Should actually move up further ahead there. Panther to the shot here from X the Eliminator, moving up the west side, maintaining good map control here. Almost got the Sherman, but it's going to take a bit more than that. It's going to take a bit more than that. Back here, Panther Corps going up, troops healing and enforcing. Big counterattack here from Lift to see my Landslide to protect the Sherman. Pack 4 moving up, Panther Corps Stormtroopers trying their best to hold off the armies. Bomb grenades being thrown into the mist here, doing some light damage. Panther need to fall back as well, and gets the Sherman. So there you go, telemines do good work. Gonna pop some incendiary armor piercing rounds in anticipation of the troops pursuing them. Pack 40 here. So that way it's going to be ready to fire as soon as they get into it, and that's going to basically cut out the Pack 40, of course, punish the Americans with charging in blind. The air support in here, paratroops from Lift to see my Landslide, and West Side Panzer 4 here versus the Lieutenant tank through him. Non-Tarty always dropping their paratroopers, but looks like it's pretty close to the front line. Gonna use with the machine gun there, providing cover in positions. And back here, healing reinforcement. Sometimes we can go for the Panther. In fact, I got plenty of manpower, so fuel cache would be a pretty good thing. X Eliminator still yet to go for Doctrine. Getting a bit more infantry good. He's also going for more Panzer 4s. Also good. also good. Basil still making very silly face. Rather than finding covering fire eastern side, I've not put him off pressure. He's more just intent with here because that's sort of where to an extent I'm sort of making my big flashy moves. So that's sort of a focusing more, I guess. Pack 4 they're trying to be seized, but the machine gun crew makes very short work of it. Yeah, trying to make off this German property, ah? That's a shooting in the face. There you go, fuel cache up. To vital support for the panzers. We got someone being rushed off all the way there. Bringing up the storms with the panzers there to try and flank up behind again. I mean, no point rushing up through the centre, but they're most likely going to be met with direct fire, whereas we can get them up into a good position from the side. They can do a lot more damage, even have a chance of wiping out some units. Paratroopers are finding out. Instant enough, Literacy Landslide has yet to upgrade his paratroopers. You really should consider either Thompsons or Browning light machine guns soon. The faster the better, if I might say. I actually got enough fuel of manpower to consider another fuel cache. I wanted to, even a munitions cache, maybe set up for some other stuff. Since theoretically I could be setting up for close to the pocket if I wanted to. But there goes Panzers flanking up behind here. Stormtroopers flying covering fire. D10 moving up with raft support. Some heavier skirmishing here as Escalating fight versus Stobez here. A more of a shootout situation rather than here, it's more of a maneuver fight. Bang grenade off. Kills poor Johnny. Leaves him obliterated. Very close to the Panther here, though I really should probably consider another fuel cache. I got so much manpower here, but there's just so much going on, and I'm still kind of tired. Again, I want to emphasize, I was kind of tired, so there's only a few more accidents here and there. Got the Panther flying up behind, going for a bit of pounce maneuver here. Good move by Exterminator. A bit more risk in some ways, but done correctly, it can deal a lot of damage. Down here, though, troops taking damage. Casualties pouring up here for Literacy Landslide. He's down to just two Rav squads, one heavily depleted, and the paratroopers. And we got P-47 supporting in the centre here to try and back up his teammate. Good work. Literacy Landslide, he's barely got anything left. He is taking some heavy casualties at my hands. There you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 being mobilized for the German army. Pioneer sneaking up there, got the 5th Cavalry moving up here. And we got Pershing out here for Stobez. Bring up the heavy armour to smash the Krauts. It's 90mm gun. More paratroopers up from Literacy Landslide, trying to rely on elite infantry to break his way through the Germans. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 mobilized here for the Panzer der Panzerdivision. Oberleutnant Müller arrives in his Panzerkampfwagen 5. Pershing blasting away there, 4 killed so far. The Pershing, an absolute beast versus an infantry, and able to take on most armour reasonably well as well. Sneaking up with the paratroopers on the right flank, very good work. Still, no upgrades for the paratroopers. Definitely feel like that's a bit of an oversight there by Literacy Landslide. And we finally got a final doctrine AD's fortified armour from Exterminating. An interesting choice here. Might be planning here the Elephant to try and counter the Pershing. Panther moving up in the east, second fuel cache up. Since again I got a lot of manpower and I don't want to just keep spamming infantry and other bits, they could consider mortar. And that's regarding, you know, if just one of our armor doesn't have the fuel. Getting fuel cache up is great for me, plus my teammates, and it also allows Exterminating to get towards what he wants fast, in this case, the Elephant Tank Destroyer. Machine gun hidden up behind the breakage of the Flak Panzer, fuel cache they're done. Panther moving aggressively with pin up machine guns engaging the mortar crew. Getting 1 kill there, taking off 1/4 of the team there in a matter of moments with its Maschinengewehren. Because he's pulling back the ambulance as he's worried I'm going to drive up the Panther and knock it out. And I actually tried to do that, but he's actually pulled away the ambulance a bit too fast here. quick anti-tank rifle, but that's not enough to stop German engineering when it works properly and is maintained. Got grenades off here in the advancing grenadiers, and oh, almost got a wipe there. My next plan by is to go for Sturmpanzer to help deal with the infantry and whatnot. On the west, we've got paratroopers firing on their own hitters and grenadiers. Air recons out here from Escalating to get a good idea of this battlefield situation. Excellent, they begin to soften a bit more. Anti-tank gun number 2 out here from Live to see my Landslide. Stormtroopers panzers are ready to ambush any armies if they get into the right positions, that is. And then go 50 guns running by to support here to allow Live to see my Landslide rifle to advance somewhat successfully in the west Stobez. And Escalating continue to wrestle over this small strip of land. I mean, neither player really seems intent on trying to outmaneuver the other unless in the east. I've been more consistently trying to, gain the upper hand through just, proper maneuvering over my opponent and not just, try to, wrestle it out with them if possible. Almost got the anti-tank in here with the machine gun. I've actually got enough munitions here for close the pocket. Sturmpanzer almost done, and of course I begin wondering if I'll set up for it, but that requires, in this case, for Escalating to be forced back, so the opponent actually moves towards this point, so you can actually hit here and here, so that way, cut them off and hit with the close the pocket. But we got the elephant tanks right here for Exterminator. There's all you take now to the rifle, which you managed to pilfer a machine gun here from Exterminator. Not for me, because I actually haven't gone, I think, for a single light machine gun on my grenadiers. I've been focusing on munitions on the stormtroopers and the panzer grenadiers, to be honest. And there we go, Sturmpanzer ready, the Stupa. In this case, with Simmerit on it, which was actually discontinued recently quick as it turned out it was actually flammable. And unsurprisingly, you do not want your tanks catching on fire. Which also actually let them to sort of drop in the initial shall we say, smoke dispersers on them. Because it turned out they also caught on fire. Yep, Jackson on the way there for Live to see my Landslide. Good decision. I got the elephant moving up. He shoots 1 kill so far. Wouldn't be surprised if there's an infantry kill. Yes, indeed, with its whole machine gun. Sturmpanzer moving forwards, obliterating poor Joe. Shouting with 150 meter round. In the west, a good push here. Moving up aggressively. Pushing back Exterminator's forces here. Elephant landing another hit, almost taking out the Pershing. In the east, Live to see my Landslide just continue to have the forces pointed here. He wants to make a push, but I'm not making any use of him, partly thanks to all of these ambushed units that are ready to just appear out of nowhere, at least from his perspective, and just murder his stuff if he's not careful. And the Sturmpanzer, of course, does not make things easier. I mean, he makes it easier for me, but not for him. Jackson moving about in the west, air reconnaissance. Excellent, found himself a bit more on the defensive still. Theoretically, I could actually consider setting up for a close to the pocket if I wanted to. Panzer versus paratroopers, rifle advancing up, Gibraltar lading off, and thrown too far, unfortunately. Sturmpanzer. Jackson moving ahead, catching the Sturmpanzer. Panther nearby to provide support, but will it be able to support in time? There we go, direct hit from the Sturmpanzer on the Jackson. Panther moves up, gets off another hit, pulling him down to half health. Another hit from anti-tank flanking up on the one other side. Good work there, but Live to see my Landslide. Still best, meanwhile continues to pressure, just Exterminator lost almost all of his infantry. In fact, he has lost his stands, just pioneers and support weapons. Plus his armour, which is not a good situation for him. And meanwhile, I've actually got plenty of infantry. Sturmpanzer almost taking that, but still manages to fall back. Almost takes out the entire rifle squad with a single hit. And the Pershing almost takes out my precious, precious stormtroopers. Panthers carrying fire here for the retreating troops. And tank dropping in. Good hit, but the stormtroopers sadly get evaporated, eliminated, shattered. So right now, Exterminator is in a bit more awkward position. His forced composition struggling without sufficient infantry. But there you go, flanks the Pershing excellently here, close to veterans one with that elephant. Back here, healing enforcement going on. And I'm going for 2-2 now. I'm wondering, why would you be going for 2-2 half an hour into the game? Well, in this case, I want to close the pocket. I need to hit this point. There's no easy point this for hitting in, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go for 2-2, sneak it up all the way through here, hide it down here to the right time, then move it up here using breakthrough, which allows it to grab a point, and then you call in a break supply line here, that way cutting off. Of course, at the same time, I need to time it correctly, so I know his stuff is actually here, which is the trickier bit. A much trickier bit. And you, of course, still have to maintain pressure here as well, so it's a bit of a juggling act I have to do. But I do it for Germany. You know, digital Germany, pixelated Germany. Gunners need to treat Panther moving about here. Close to veteran free. Panther good to go. Sturmpanzer though, less good to go, receiving vital pioneer support. Counter-attack here, Grenadiers, Panzer goes to try to flush out the paratroopers. He's upgraded. No, he actually hasn't upgraded. He's just stolen some German LMG-42s, but it's enough. It's lifters in Landslide yet to upgrade anything yet. Machine gun opening up, firing away at whatever looks suspiciously American. Bit counter-attacking these Panzers, Grenadiers, there was the paratroopers forcing away easily. Got the anti-tank and hanging back, just firing away at those Germans. There go 2-2 moves down here. Actually confusing my opponent. He's like, what is that doing then? At which point I point out it's for close the pocket. Rifle pinned down to the ground. Panzers flanking up here. Gunners remain to defend the eastern fuel point. Knowing cause neither of the two allied players have built a single fuel cache in comparison. I believe in this situation I'm actually setting up for a second Sturmpanzer because I don't really feel like I need more serious armor. I just need to blast way through the anti-tank guns and infantry, in which case 2 Sturmpanzers should do the job. Yeah, 2-2 hiding out here behind the tree line. So what are we doing here? We're doing something involving closing the pocket. What pocket? There's no pocket here. Well, we're supposed to make one. Oh dear. That's going to be a massacre, isn't it? Yeah. It's the best kind. Is there a good kind of massacre? Yes, that's the one where we don't get massacred. Ah, yeah. I'm going to give it onto something. I'm just waiting again. I'm just used to my opponent's line of sight as a spot. When does he get far enough in here? You know, I need him to cross into the line, into the munitions point, so I can hit here and here then. That's going to be the trickier bit to time out. Smoke screen off here again to push for the fuel point. Got Stormtroopers out here to flank up behind. But I realise I might need to hit this one as well, just in case. I don't want to take any chances about this. But there you go. It begins. It begins. The close the pocket. As you might notice, the other guys now advance much further up here. Popping breakthrough. 2-2 moving up. Then again, he can grab points really, really fast. Calling in here as well. Plus, this way, can actually catch up this one as well, since that's connecting point for here. So that's part of the reason. Obviously, you got the Stormtroopers from behind. Grenadiers wiped out, sadly. And there we go. Close the pocket has begun. The Luftwaffe and the artillery strikes. There we go. Death from above. Annihilating all of the anti-tank guns. Stobez forces suddenly find themselves obliterated. The same happening over here. They're not quite as effective. But the Packard barely survives. Utter annihilation. Panther moving up here, supported by the Sturmpanzer, tearing into the paratroopers here in the east. And I'm trying to sneak up my two to take out the ambulance, but get stopped by the Pershing there. All the way, paratroopers here, pushed back violently. And there you go, paratroopers go down, but Stobez again has lost most of what he's got. He's down to the Pershing ambulance, a bit of infantry and a mortar. I mean, everything else just vanished beneath the storm of rockets and Stuka bombs. That's why I like Close the Pocket. It's a really, really fun ability. It requires some good setup. It requires understanding everything about the map and so on there. But when you then get a good one off, it's amazing. Obviously, on the receiving end, it's utterly horrific. But, you know, you're not doing it for their sake, are you? Big push here with Grenadiers, Machine Guns, Pioneers, Panther Grenadiers. Jackson on the way here for Lift Seam Landslide. Stormtrooper squad setting out. 40 moving up here. Pershing machine repairs, 18 kills, veterancy 2. Awaiting stuff here, grabbing in, not wanting to get too reckless here as my opponent, bring up the second Sturmpanzer. To deliver a shattering blow to the armies if possible. Or a couple of shattering blows. Close veteran 1, the Sturmpanzer 4. Paired with them change to an ambush machine gun. Quit losing a few members there. Jackson rolling head for Liberty my Landslide. Panther hanging back. Close veteran 1 itself. There you go, machine gun flank with the Sturmpanzer, almost taken out. There you go, the Jackson taking up in the Sturmpanzer. On the west, you can see he's moving up the Pershing map. We're trying to flank up behind X. The Eliminator's flank is actually quite vulnerable. He's getting some infantry back, but he's still looking somewhat weak. I mean, the Elephant is just eating up a lot here in terms of pop cap. So, looks like he has a large force, but the reality is he doesn't. And that's almost a quarter there of the pop cap it's basically taking up, so it makes his force actually look much larger than it actually is. Compared to, we actually have a, well, you know, sizable force here, but of course, I have to be careful how to use it so don't just immediately throw it away, because in these situations it doesn't take much to just lose a lot as a bear might, because again, most of the squads are small, and a lot of the Americans can do a lot of damage very fast if you're not careful. But there you go, try and flank up behind the Pershing. Need to get my arm up as well. The Sturmpanzer moving in to flank him, but he's going to try and sneak up behind that way. Panther going for the Jackson. Sturmpanzer's going to clear up the anti-tank guns. There you go, that gets knocked out. Panther almost knocked out here. Sturmpanzer running up for the next anti-tank gun. Because the shot's not quite hitting there. Jackson gets away just barely. Panther's main gun is out, but the anti-tank gun is also out. Shattered. And there you go, Jackson knocks out my Panther. It's tragic loss for the fatherland. Sturmpanzer in your head, there we go. Going for the mortar next, tearing out Stobez's units. Obliterating them. Benign. The Sturmpanzer battalion, there you go. Pack out down again. Another Elephant out here for the Eliminator. Sturmpanzer being flanked here by the Pershing. Sturmpanzer shoot out the Pershing, actually doing some damage. Grenadiers holding out here. Panzer fast off on the Pershing. Almost an ace level Pershing actually, which of course is quite impressive. Both Sturmpanzers there, rolling back, one close to veterancy 2. Excellently, of course, having lost even more. His forces just are struggling to sort of catch up at this stage. Rangers out for Stobez. And you might be wondering, would I be going for another Panther? Initially that was my plan, but I ended up actually just going for double Stooks because I realised I need more firepower on the cheap because I don't actually have a lot of fuel. I'm not getting enough to just churn out a lot of Panthers right now, so I'm just going to go for a pair of Stooks here to provide valuable firepower versus the army. So it's going to take me a bit of a while before I think get to that bit of cognition. Pack 40 spot here could be wiped out by the Lieutenant, but no, Lieutenant runs away first. Sturmpanzer receiving right repairs. Moving up, pitch part spot in the centre for X the Eliminator. Picks up the Sturmpanzer. Still receives a lot of repairs, in fact needs it. Live to see my Landslide's the best, excellent at recovering. I've actually got a lot of manpower, which basically again could spend more cash on for. Build bunkers actually. Overall, those would be, I think, pretty good ideas. But again, I'm just kind of tired. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Like, I'm quite aware that if I make the wrong move, I could pretty much just hand the Allies the victory. So despite having the larger force and all that, I'm still in a slightly precarious situation. So it's a bit of the trick, they're trying to balance it all out at the same time. 4 pairs up here for lifters in my landslide. 3rd armour seeing plenty of support from the 82nd Airborne Division. As the Panzer continue about now, go double troops on the way, and then from nearby Sturmgeschützabteilung. By this stage of the war, whatever sort of informal sort of additional of a Stug battalion that were made to Panzer divisions had pretty much ceased to be, so any Stugs attached would either been replacement of Panzer force, or would have been, sent in from a similar, Stug battalion, or tank destroyer battalion that had to make to do with Stugs instead of actual tank destroyers. It's a little fun fact there, but there you go, double Sturmgeschütz. Got the Sturmpanzer there rolling about, plus his opponent just thinks, double Stugs, double Sturmpanzers, that's cool. Just in there being pushed back, tried to flank. Did not work out. Elephant falling back here. And go Sturmpanzer there, rolling down the lieutenant with high explosives. In fact, I might go straight into the base and trying to get some wipes. There you go, lieutenant almost taken down. Wipe, and the ambulance is next to suffer the wrath of the Sturmpanzers. Pershing the quick to support here. And the ambulance completely combusts. The Pioneers still might not make it out. And there you go, Pershing almost takes them out. 32 kills, 33. Sturmgeschütz moving up to provide support here to see off the Pershing attack here from Stobez most likely. Stobez flooding a ton of manpower himself, can consider some more the infantry. Though fuel caches would be an excellent choice for him to support both him and his teammate. Pershing percent, there you go, Pack 40 Stoops going up. Target weak point is going to go from the Pack 40 to stun the Pershing, giving a harder time to escape. Or down to half health. Sherman moving up, and there you go, Pershing stunned. And the Stug finish off the Pershing. They're punishing Stobez for blitzing in his Pershing without sufficient support. Or for that matter, laying down the smoke, we need to cover it up a bit there. But it's got enough resources to quickly replace the loss. I'm actually popping a half-track out to just provide further support from the frontline troops, getting more mobility as well. Queuing up the Stug, trying to cast that Sherman a bit, and destroy it. There you go, Stug, Zug on the move, or Stuggruppe. Quickly taking out a Sherman, probably got a Jackson. Oh, another person coming up behind, got the Sturmpanzer coming up, ready to flying covering fire, doing some heavy damage to the person there, but losing one Stug in the process. Jackson there flanking up on the Sturmpanzers. Pershing though goes down to half health. Stug gains 22 Sturmpanzers taking heavy damage. Excellent moving up, taking advantage of my rather bold pushes here in the east to make an advance from there up the west. Stugs and Sturmpanzers falling back, half like ready about to provide support for the troops, though this is a lack of troops at the moment at the front line. Got the Jackson moving up here, Grenadiers moving up there for Exterminator. He's got a command tank up, so Zanayana just bolts his already nominable frontline presence. Air support again here. Forcing away the Elephant tanks, so almost taken out there with the P-47 rockets. So there you go, small mixed group here of assault guns and half-tanks and infantry. They need to get the Panzer Stormtroopers up there to support, and of course get the Pioneers down as well. Aircraft shot down. I think apparently it was one of the Sturmpanzers that did it actually. Got a 5th cover creeping up. If you actually can just move up the Sturmpanzers to, shall we say, deal with that very permanently. And going for another Stug. Almost got that 5th cover machine gun. Close but not quite. Smoke's going down, almost saying that they're using the Pintelmite machine guns actually. So many big explosions. In the west here, still best and live to see my landslide makes a push forward, so they may be using the 5th cover as bait here against Exterminator. Panther moving up with Pioneer support, lots of Pioneers, a few Grenadiers as well. And another Stug ready. Both assault guns are going to need some repairs. Stug good to go. 75 points left for the outs of the push for the centre victory point. An absolute meat grinder of a match, by the way, as you can sort of see. rather than pushing up for the centre here. I gotta say, I don't think I've ever had a force composition of double Sturmpanzers and double Stooks before this match. But it's surprisingly effective, as you can see. The Sturmpanzers just murder everything infantry based, and the Stooks deal with the armour. Back here, healing and forcing going on for the German army. The Panzerlehr. And the West Elephant Command taking everything repairs as well. Push over the paratroops, Rangers moving up to support as well. Grenade off on the half track. More Rangers plus the Major moving up here for Stobez. With Escalating so far a bit on the back foot here, they're sort of trying to now push me off, but I am not quite so much of a easy piece of work they can just shove away. Particularly up the half track, which makes it hard for me to be overall pushed off. There you go, Sturmpanzer's good to go. At this stage, I could actually consider another close to pocket if I wanted to. Which is actually what I do. I go for another 2 to repeat the trick I already committed once. Because I'm such a cheeky person. Paratroopers moving out here, though, for lift to see my landslide. Sturmpanzer moving in to dispatch the paratroopers. 1/3 of the unit just gone in the blink of an eye. Another 1/3 of the unit gone. Sturmpanzer's just going after them like a pair of ravenous monsters. The 2 to 2 arrives, Shem moving up, Peach Dukes into support and whatever else this is to support with. Rolling out the 2 to 2 towards the west here. Getting the Stooks in order as well. There you go, Sherman straight into the Stooks and the Sturmpanzers. Infantry moving up, Sturmpanzer planning coming fire for the Stooks, and they go for the Sherman. Sherman kaput. Live to see my landslide. Saints juice don't last long against the armoured fist of the fatherland. Rather than being obliterated, the Sturmpanzer moving up, then to Tankers moving up, but there's this double Sturmpanzer. There you go, breakthrough off as a rush through here. Half takes all supporting, going a bit much off here actually. Infantry getting obliterated within Live to see my landslide space. Just shattered. Getting the point here. Shots raining down left and right. Need to be careful over the Stooks and the Sturmpanzers. Paratroopers, they're almost being obliterated. Pershing down. That's Anakin Cares range, and there you go. Close the pocket again here. As he moves forwards here, and there you go. Call it in. Lost something inside the base. There's one of the Stooks, I think. There you go. Rockets. Stuka bombs. And gets the anti-tank gun. Didn't do as much this time. I've been then taking that anti-tank. Just the sheer pressure. Psychological effect. We're going to see Stobez taking advantage of Escalating falling back to prime, push into behind me. Good move there, though, of course, not quite easy either. But it does force him to fall back here further. As I was just going to keep blasting Live to see my landslide into the Stone Age. And possibly beyond that. Counter-attack here, but running straight into the Sturmpanzer, the pack crew is obliterated. No mercy. Same as 208 points left. So already 2 close to pockets in one match. Command time, we're going here for the Rangers. Going pretty aggressively at it there. Up north, but around we got the Stormtroopers, the Panzergrenadiers, Grenadiers backing them all up here. Find some light machine gun from own Grenadiers. The captain there likely going to get wiped out, one way or the other. And there goes Stobez's captain down in a hailstorm of shots. Elephant there, halfway to veteran fleeing. That's his second elephant, by the way, meaning that one has been doing a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And we're slowly approaching an hour-long match, by the way. 10 minutes away from that, if it gets that far. Sturmpanzer seeing both in need of repairs. One is actually close to the A's level. Far south here, Stormtroopers hitting the victory point, just trying to keep up the bleed against the Americans. Storms being overwhelmed. I'm just trying to set up the next push. Again, I don't want to do anything reckless that could cost me a lot of forces, since one mistake here and I suspect the Allies can just sort of push through, though they are starting to look pretty weak. Partly again, live to see my landslide. Well, he kind of suffered a landslide attack from my Sturmpanzers, burying most of his men, in a storm of high explosives. I mean, it's just down to paratroopers now and anti-tank guns. Everything else is just annihilated. Lots of anti-tank guns here, Sturmpanzers firing. Veteran Infantry Garden ace level, there goes so much anti-tank fire, plus the V-47's risk taking out my Sturmpanzer ace. I can't say expected this kind of response, and I got punished quite aggressively. Another Stug on the way. Another Jackson on the way as well. For the Allies. Another push here. Pioneers, Elephant, Command Tank rushing ahead, a bit reckless. Probably should consider some more Panzer gun. It is something that can sort of better work on the assault than this current force composition can. And he's gone for a Panzer level, by the way. Arrangements of the paratroopers, the Panzers, the stormtroopers. Just joining in. And another Stug out. Another Sturmgeschütz. 10 kills in the Elephant. 8 kills actually, just using its machine gun. And got a machine gun up here coming up as well. More paratroopers there. Just so much air activity going on now. So much air activity. And paratroopers straight into the Sturmpanzer, the machine guns and everything else. But he's got a lot of paratrooper scores now. He's up to 3, and he's now trying to pop in here by the northern victory point where I got a machine gun waiting. I did not actually anticipate this move, so there's actually a pretty clever move there by Liverpool my landslide. A bit risky because for the second time hitting some trees or something else, but it works out. Flanks my machine gun and takes it out. So nasty work there by Liverpool my landslide. Nasty work. Fight continuing in the west. 51 points left. Moving up the half-track filled with good German troops, Panzers and the Stormtroopers. Popping out the East Panzers, the half-track with the Stormtroopers and go for the machine gun. And the Panzers just make short work of the paratroopers, the assault Stormtroopers, they go for the tactical advance and wipe out the machine gun alongside the half-track, wiping out his entire paratrooper squad, suffering barely any damage on the 2 units. Ranger setting out here, pushing forwards. Mortar fire raining down. Straight for the machine gun. Elephant takes some nasty attacks, getting very close to the ace level there. I think Stobez is just setting up for another Pershing, like he's just kinda Fuhrer mode there, Fuhrer syndrome mode. Just all Pershings, nothing else. And South trying to flank behind him, he's got moved out there with the 5th caliber. Clearly up to what I'm doing there. The cheeky little bastard. Mechanizing my infantry again, going to move over towards the west here to support as I realise something's about to happen here, so I'm going to move over my mechanized infantry to basically clear it out properly. Stobez getting very close to the Pershing. Ex-eliminator there, just moving back and forth. He's gone for a sniper now, after they just zipping past. Out of the way, we got very important deliveries to make to the rear lines of the Americans. Armour waiting there. Sturmpanzer bombarding. Stugs moving up. Almost got the Rangers there as well. Half take up here. Plus can also set up for maybe another attempt to close the pocket. Maybe. 5th cavalry taking up with the Sturmpanzer. Got troops sneaking up here. They're going to be running into some machine gun. Backed up by some pioneers. And we got more area cons out here. And there you go. Half tech rushing down. 5th cavalry there. It's not going to be able to stop this. Delivery. And there you go. Just wiping out so much firepower in just one localized spot. No survivors. And Jackson down. Elephant super close to the ace level. Perch was landing up behind here again, but getting suppressed already. Solana, there you go. Stobez is it his 4th Pershing or is it the 3rd one? I'm not entirely sure, but he's calling in another Pershing. 38 points left for the Americans. 38. More rockets, more death. Just waiting for the right time to strike from the minor panzers. Hitting here. Half-tech trying to escape, that's not going to work out. That is not going to work out, sadly. So I'm just going to have to retreat my troops. Another half-track perishing in the service of Deutschland up north. Something to do with the paratroopers there. We've got 2 squads now converting that victory point. 31 points left for the Allies. 31. Moving up to the centre. 57 minutes, closing in on the 1 hour mark. We are 3 minutes away. Pedro was pushed away. Stormpanzer moving about. And there goes Stormtroopers with the re-echelons. And I'm just closing up. At this point, I'm not quite aware I might be hitting anything. I'm just mostly doing it for the hell of it, and partly as opposed to the psychological effect. Just want to see if it actually works out what it does. In this case, though, not a lot. But, you know, it's just for the hell of it. I was, again, getting kind of tired, so, shall we say, a lot more bad decisions being made, necessarily. Though, of course, not completely terrible, just not very optimal. More rockets off. And right on the anti-tank, and just as he crews it. Wiping out the anti-tank and the paratroopers doing so. See him in there, even just right as about to, you know, get wasted, it still managed to do something. And live to see my Landslide at this stage is just pretty much just shattered. So we go down to 30 victory points to hold in the western centre. One Perch in there might hit a Tellermine or something. I'll weigh that's down as well. Sherman on the way for live to see my Landslide. I'm more or less at full pop cap, so I can't use all the resources I've gotten out at this stage. Big push here. Machine guns. Pan's gonna do Stormtroopers, Stoogs, Sturmpanzers, you name it. And I'm just going to make a big push here, flank up behind both Stobez and live to see my Landslide, gain control of the centre victory point. Artillery fire there, shatting what little is left there already. Packers are there being spotted. Now the airdrop up north. Prepared to the fighting a desperate fight. Taking half out, I'm going to use the Stormtroopers and whatnot, and there goes Sturmpanzer shoots, almost takes out the paratroopers. Sherman rolls through the wreckage. Still at 30 points left, 213 for the German army. Stooge moving ahead. Rangers going nuts behind the lines. Dudes firing away. Machine gun is about to go down to the Rangers. Grenades go from the other machine gun. Sherman almost taken out. Cannon take up north of the stormtroopers, the paratroopers. We're getting that victory point. And moving over here to grab the other victory point so we can just get them bled out. And we by the way hit an hour-long match now. Fetching a few storms, there we go. Tactical advance. And gets the paratrooper squad. 20 kills. Another Stug on the way for Germany. Could theoretically go for Sturmpanzer, but I guess they're not going to more Stugs here. All victory points probably now neutral. That's not going to last for long. That is not going to last for long. Another Panther for barrage. And there we go. GG. GG. An hour and 1 minute long match. Stormtroopers Rangers, 9 points left. 6. 3 and game over. A brutal slaughter of 2 versus 2 on Moscow Winter. Horrific battling then again. It was time for it all. Lots of damage, lots of killing. Casualties are probably around, I'd say close to 1,000 casualties all in all. Tons of damage, tons of killing. Ended up doing the most killing there. 3 close to pockets, by the way. 3 close to pockets, which it might actually be a record for me personally. 3 close to pockets in one match. You do not see that very often. Plus double Sturmpanzers, double Stugs. Lots of half-track actions, smoke screens, you name it. In this match, I think more or less had everything in it. So, absolutely brutal slaughter here on Moscow Winter. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. If you wish to send in a replay on, links in the video description there. You can also find links where you can pledge on Patreon or donate via PayPal. This is ImperialDane. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. You all are a wonderful audience. I hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.